I obviously up to some good stuff. So, Glenn, I've got the email you sent me on January 27th opened up. It says, "Riding the wave um, from video, my company site and results. My customers obtaining. I've been contacted by 4 companies in the last 10 business days. What a rush." What's cool from this, I liked getting this. I actually put it in one of my dispatches. But then it seemed like every other day I was getting an update from you, where you're just doing more and more. The most recent one was on the Facebook group where you closed the big deal, I think, with a lawyer. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So what's the so give me an idea. All right, so you're now, well, this month you made like 10 grand, and you said that you're on to recurring billing starting in March of $9,000.
Yeah, starting in March, I'll be at right about 9,200. Yeah, everything this month, this is my best month so far. I made right at 17. I put in the bank in January.
17,000 in January. That's incredible. I looked up. You joined us January 2nd. So it was kind of funny because I was kind of counting along just to see how far you get in your first month. So that was it was a little internal thing. I didn't tell anybody else about it, but I personally was curious because you kept going up and up in your numbers. So give me your background, where you were before you joined us, because you've obviously been in the game for a while, and where were you at before, and then what's changed for you since you joined us, and I'm curious where you see yourself heading.
Well, I worked for Yellow Book for 10 years. So they started getting into a little bit of the SEM and SEO markets about 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And so I did quite a bit of work for them and sold more SEM and SEO in the Midwest than I think the rest of the team combined.
What does SEM stand for?
Search engine marketing, pay-per-click.
Right.
And then as they tried to change the company over a little bit more to an internet marketing company versus a directory company,
Yeah.
the more I learned, the more I just kind of thought that my focus was probably in a different direction what theirs was.
Yeah.
A year ago, last summer, so the summer of 2012, I spent some time, went to Texas, met some people, went out to California, met some people in internet marketing, and that's when I decided I needed to start my own company. So I started that like a year and a half ago, just getting the basics done with all the incorporation stuff like that, and then started selling right at a year ago right now.
Okay, great. And so how did that go for you? What were the ups? What were the downs?
It was just kind of a little bit of a learning factor. I tried going out selling SEO, and most of the clients I came in contact with at the beginning all needed websites.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn how to build websites because I couldn't get the SEO without the website portion of it.
Right.
So it was just kind of a trial by error and trying to learn a little bit more. And then finally in August last year, I had a pretty good month in July on my own, so I quit my day job and just started doing this full time in August.
Okay, great. Where were you at earnings-wise by then?
It was kind of, I wasn't really paying attention to it because I had a day job, but was still making pretty good money.
Yeah.
My wife came out to me actually 2 weeks ago on Sunday night and was kind of shocked because I was just kind of focusing on month by month, taking care of small things.
Yeah.
But we ended up billing out right about 98 our first year, so I didn't think that was too bad.
Yeah, fantastic. Congratulations. So now, what were the challenges that you're running into other than that you had to figure out web design so you could build people's sites to rank them?
I just need to know a little bit more, and then the reason I started watching your guys' videos and webinars and whatnot was for simple people, metal roofing, people selling equipment like baseball and soccer equipment, stuff like that. I could do most of that optimization just with site structure and maybe some directory listings.
Mm-hmm.
But as I got into more complicated and competitive headings, I just need to know a little bit more, and that's why I started watching the videos that you and Greg put out there and realized that to take my business to the next level, I need to do that. I still haven't gotten into the affiliate stuff yet. I've just kind of been buried with trying to watch all the videos and learn all the little nuances of just a day job film.
I got to tell you, I think you're doing okay. Yeah. I think you're picking up a heck of a head of steam at this point. $17,000 is a lot of money to bank in 1 month. So what? I'm a little bit curious about your background and also where you're headed with things. So I definitely want to find out more about you from your Yellow Pages background, because I think that one of the things that's really been great with OMG has been really getting a mix of, our customers are very grateful, but they're also extremely generous, and we gain insights from them. and I've always been curious. I knew one girl who did a lot of sales for Yellow Pages, and I have some insights into how she did that and so forth, although not exactly how OMGers would leverage it that much. I mean, I learned some stuff, so I'm curious to pick your mind for that a little bit. But what I wanted to find out first was where do you see things heading, and what hurdles do you want to kind of overcome as you're moving forward? For example, have you started your PBN? Have you started looking at GSA? Some of the things inside of the search engine stuff that we're teaching?
Yeah, I think I have 19 or 20 sites right now so far for
Excellent.
my PBN.
Excellent.
And I've just kind of been a little bit buried the last couple of weeks. I was just going to buy GSA today.
Right.
I know I talked to someone else and found some VPS out of Germany that they recommend for doing it, so I'm trying to get that stuff set up.
But you watched the videos with me and Jimmy there?
I did once. I'm probably going to go through them again one more time and then try and get focused on a little bit more. But I went through it the first time just to kind of get a brief overview.
Yeah, it's real powerful how Jimmy's doing that. I don't know if you've looked at the Nashville SEO ratings that we're using as a bit of a case study for that, but they're crazy because it's so competitive. I mean, Nashville SEO is just incredibly competitive. I think we're like number 3, number 8, and then we're like half of page 2, and then we got another couple properties coming up on page 4, and that's all just since we shot those videos, which is very recently. I think Jimmy was over at my place because he came through Nashville with his wife because he's moving here. I think it was less than a month ago when we shot those videos. So it's really, those rankings are skyrocketing fast. So good that you're having a look at GSA. Good that you're getting started with the building your PBN. Are you attending the office hours with Greg and Fletch? How are those going for you?
They're going great. For some reason, just prior commitments I've had, I think I've only attended 1.5 with Greg. It just, the time just haven't jived.
Yeah.
But Fletch's have worked a little bit better with my schedule, so yeah, I like Fletch. I love his approach to it and stuff like that, and they've been great so far.
Yeah, it seems like you and Fletch have a great vibe going on. I've seen a couple of the communications going back and forth. So let me ask you this. In order to look at where you're going, let me ask you a little bit about your background. Let me tell you what I know about Yellow Pages. So I knew a girl for a while. She was up in Michigan, and she was a Top Gun salesperson for Yellow Pages, where she was making most of her sales. This was in the last year or so. So first of all, they got hit hard with Penguin. Penguin and Panda really devastated the division or the groups, the Yellow Pages divisions that she was working for whatever that's worth. But this is pretty recent. This is like maybe 3 or 4 months ago. And so their search engine stuff was really, really tough. Where what she was doing that was actually making most of her money was going to people who had canceled with Yellow Pages. That was where she was making far and away her most money, by going to people that had quit on them before and then trying to get them back in somehow by doing some, various marketing packages that would be like, oh, we'll send you this many clicks, we'll try to rank you for this, and we'll do a paper campaign for you. It was like these kind of mashup campaigns that she would get together for people. I also think she was a little bit like could sell ice cream to Eskimos kind of girl. So what was what's your experience with what? Because now you're competing with Yellow Pages, and obviously you're doing very well. What did you learn from that? What are you doing in sales meetings that you think is helping you be successful?
Well, I think just some of the things that have come from the brief time I've been around you guys and why I decided to join was it's just doing so much of the stuff kind of in-house and providing the tools where you're doing it, so you're not outsourcing something to the Philippines or India or something like that. I think that's the biggest difference is when you're outsourcing it, you lose a lot of control over those type of issues. And so when something gets affected by Panda, Penguin, and things like that, you have less ability to react and correct those things. And so I think just with that, and then with the confidence of going in and having some headings that I have multiple URLs ranking on the first page to be able to start talking to people about search engine domination, because here in the Midwest, no one's talking that. They're trying to figure out a way just to do SEO.
Yeah, I really like that, and I appreciate that as a vote of confidence. But you already had a lot of success. Like when your wife came up to you and she's very proud of you, and that's a wonderful feeling. That you've already done over $90,000 in sales. What would you say accounted for that $90,000? What were some of the key points that somebody else could glean from that?
I think it was just getting out and talking to enough people and trying to find little niches that you can work in, and just learning the little nuances. I've come across and probably built a half a dozen websites for people because they were with Wix, they had Flash on their sites, so they weren't working with iPads and all your Apple products and things like that. It's just getting to know the product so you can help customers better.
So a lot of it was getting into like the fine-tuned details and saying, okay, you know, your stuff is built with Flash, and so you're not going to display on an iPad. I can build you a WordPress site that's going to be responsive. It's going to work for you. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, just having them pick up a tablet and showing them that their website that they paid for is a gray box. You can't do anything with it. There was one of the other phone books here in town that actually was building some websites that somehow they had the navigation bar made out of Flash. So when you show the customer that you can't get past their home page on an iPad and how many people are buying these things now, they kind of open their eyes and they realize they need to go someone that's doing more custom work.
I love that. So let's talk about your most recent deal. It was a blockbuster. How did it start? This was with a lawyer.
Last Monday, I got a phone call from a lawyer's daughter who's working for him. She's like a year out of law school, and she wanted to get some pricing for me for an application.
Where did she find you?
That was the first question out of my mouth, and she said, I don't know, Dad laid a piece of paper on my desk that had another law firm's name on it and said, this guy's website.
I remember you saying this. You mentioned on the Facebook group to absolutely have your company information on the website as a kind of a viral calling card. Like, so you're on your client sites.
Yeah, I always put in the footer, develop the most by and name my company.
Okay, great. So he looked at one of his competitors and said, I want the advantage that these guys have. Yeah,
his competitor in his city is ranking number 2 for just general attorney, right behind FindLaw's number 1.
Yeah.
When you go to a lot of the subheadings, like your personal injury and work comp, we're still on the first page, down about 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So like 4th for DUI, 3rd for divorce. They're ranking quite a bit.
Nice. Great job with that. So what was that meeting like? So first you met with the daughter, and was that mostly to get to, ultimately she was like a filter to get to the decision maker, or was she the decision maker?
No, she wasn't the decision maker. We just visited a little bit over the phone, and so we set up a meet and greet for the 2 days later. So I went on Wednesday, met with her father, who's a very aggressive, very successful personal injury attorney in the area where he's at, and we sat down and just talked for about an hour, hour and a half.
Can I find out more about that meeting to get to the father? Because so often that introduction, is a key part of the move. Not just getting the meeting, but also have the framing for the meeting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Having it be kind of on your side.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Well, I'm trying to figure out what happened in the meeting with the daughter, because whatever the daughter says to the father is going to influence, it's going to paint a frame around your meeting with him, right?
Yeah.
So what did you say to her?
She was just asking if I had pricing. And I basically said to her that, everything I do is custom. I'm not people that try and have a company where you have square pegs to try and make my customers fit, into round holes.
Okay, great.
So I needed to sit down and basically have an orientation meeting with them so that I could find out what they want to do and where their directions were going so that I could mold a product around them.
I love that. Great. So then, so they went for it. You sat down with the father. What was that mean like? In that hour in between, what happened?
We just sat down and had a good conversation to kind of find out where his goals were, kind of what he was thinking. He's one of these attorneys that are numerous ones that are with a company called FindLaw right now that works with a lot of attorneys, and they've really kind of been real lax the last year and a half with SEO. Mm-hmm. And he kind of shared with me. So
FindLaw is like an aggregator, much like Zillow would be for real estate.
That's one function. They also build and develop and optimize sites for attorneys as well. Charge them a lot of money, and they're not getting very good results right now.
How much does FindLaw charge?
I think he was right now at $2,500 a month.
Okay, got it. And the point is, $2,500 a month is not a lot of money if you're getting results. If you're not getting results, it's $2,500 wasted down the drain.
Well, it's $2,500 a month in a 60,000 population city, so it's not like you really have to do that much work to achieve results in that smaller town.
Got it. So to you, you really felt like this is not a good deal for him. And did you tell him that?
Well, I just explained to him that I thought what they were charging him for, because not originally. We just basically went over kind of what he wanted to do.
Okay.
I shared with him the water damage, St. George.
That thing is the bomb.
to see if he would like that type of service.
That's the gift that keeps giving.
Well, it is, and it works well with me. I sign non-disclosures with all my clients, so I don't share their information with anyone else. And so to be able to show something that's out there like that doesn't violate that goes a long ways, especially when you're working with someone that wants to have a non-disclosure himself. Yeah,
that's great. So when you saw that, did you feel like he moved into the yes category, and it was more about like getting the fine-tuned details, or was there more kind of sales to be done?
No, I mean, we could tell there. From that point, I already had one client in his area, the one he found me for. So we had to identify keywords. Those ones, I could only offer him optimization for his site. I couldn't do any domination.
Yeah.
But then it was just trying to find out the scenarios that would work and give him some different options to optimize his site as well as some domination.
I'm so curious how you price things out. Like moving things out of vagueness on pricing is very fascinating to me. So what was the final deal that you wound up with, about as close as possible as you can without giving up more details than you want to?
Well, we are going to redesign his website, so he needs a new website, and for as many different search terms as he wants to be found by in a couple of different cities, I'm probably going to have to build about a 60 or 70 page website.
Okay, great. And how much is that going to cost him?
$7,500.
Great. And you're taking care of the WordPress theme, all that kind of stuff is included?
Right.
Okay, great. And are you going to design that yourself, or are you going to outsource that?
No, I'll take care of it myself.
Okay, great. Good for you. And then what are you going to design it in? Are you going to design it in Catalyst, in Thesis, something from scratch?
I don't know. I haven't got into Catalyst and Thesis, so I'm going to do that this week to try and learn a little bit more about it. I've heard great things about it. I just haven't played with it myself.
Okay, great. What have you been using up to this point?
I either use just the responsive theme because it's simple and doesn't have a lot of big database behind it, and customize it myself.
Yeah.
Or I use another CMS called Concrete 5 that I really like, and it works very well.
Yeah, I think you brought up Concrete 5 to me before. Is that right? I think you sent me an email about it.
Yeah, it's a great tool. It's a little bit more secure. Every theme, every add-on for it or plugin gets approved by the owner, so it's not like WordPress where anyone can just throw something up there and say this is great.
Yeah, it's a little tricky though if you want to use something like Russell and Sue's vSilo plugin, which is so powerful. Then do you have to get it approved with them?
Yeah, I would. So that's what, once I play a little bit around with the Catalyst and the dynamic, then I may end up using that. I just haven't used it yet.
Well, yeah, and Concrete may be great. I'm always, you can tell, I'm just curious about this stuff. Okay, so the redesign 7500, what does that buy him? 60-page website, that's the on-page optimization is there, and then does that come with a beginning ranking package, or is the ranking separate?
No, the ranking starts in 30 days, and that's $3,500 a month.
Rock and roll. And what are you ranking it for?
He has 30 different search terms that we've gone through Google and just trying to find the best ones to rank for the larger city across the river for him.
Yep.
And then this city as well.
Yep.
And so we're going to rank for those, and then we start playing with building some sites that he's actually going to start buying leads from on a per call basis.
So you're going to help him with pay-per-call as well?
Well, I already set up to help him do like a Google pay-per-call.
Yeah.
He agreed where the areas where I could do domination.
Yeah.
He really, after only knowing me for 2 days, I gave him a $10,000 a month bid to do some search engine domination.
Yeah.
Or I gave him a bid where he would give me results-oriented commissions, basically based on where the positions were.
Yeah.
Or I gave him a third bid of $150 a phone call for any calls I generate for him, and he decided to take the per call basis.
Okay, great. And that $150, I like this hybrid model. Something that Scott Schaff is doing, where there's a bit of money guaranteed every month, but then there's also a pay-per-call element to it. So you have the kind of the fusion of the two.
Yeah.
I think that's a nice way to be able to expand with somebody. So it's, part of it's results based, but part of it is, they're both results based, of course, but it's a couple different ways of having results based moves that you're doing with people, where you're like, because obviously if you sat around doing nothing, it wouldn't go anywhere. Did you bring up that whole kind of one-man gang aspect to him? And I'm not trying to lead you. There's no right answer to this. I'm just curious. Where when he's saying, how are you different than the next guy? You're like, because I've got it all under one roof. I'm not outsourcing to Pakistan. I used to work for the Yellow Pages. that's what they would do. You and wind up with kind of low quality stuff. And with me, I'm the one doing it. You're not talking to a salesperson. You're talking to the guy who's going to do the SEO. That keeps your costs down and your results up. Is that the sort of thing you're saying, or do you not bring that up?
With this one, I didn't even bring it up. I listened to a little bit more of what I think, like from your videos that you had there from the SEO Nashville.
Yeah.
A little bit of learning from Fletch and some of the trial and errors that he's gone through.
Yeah.
I didn't bring that up. He'd already seen the results of the services I've done. That's why he hired me.
Yeah.
I just
so that was, he didn't have that objection, so you're not going to bring it up.
No.
Great. When you were watching the My City SEO, when I was doing the sales calls for Nashville, did you pick up anything off of that besides maybe the using the Serve Pro or whatever?
Those were the main things. I like the idea of doing like the cost for the equipment and stuff like that. I just haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to incorporate that in right now.
I don't think you necessarily need to. It's not like it's really more for my for my lifestyle, because I'm not really willing to talk to somebody who hasn't paid me money. Like it's not exactly, that's not exactly true, but like it works. It really works pretty well for my lifestyle. But it's not that I feel like people absolutely should do that. I think that, like, for example, like what you did was fantastic. Now, how are you getting client meetings besides a little bit viral on your website and stuff like that? What are some other ways that you're getting clients?
Probably half of my business just came from referrals from other clients that I have.
Yeah.
They like the results they're getting, and they're sharing information off there quite a bit. I also am involved in a couple different chambers. I'm in some networking groups and things of that nature as well.
So did you generate the first half through the chambers and stuff like that?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Did you generate that first? So you got half that's coming to you kind of word of mouth. Then you got the core customers that are providing that word of mouth. How much of that did you get through chambers?
Chambers, I don't know, I probably did $10,000, $15,000 through chambers. And I just joined the chambers in August of last year, so I've only been with them about 5 months.
Okay, great. And then what other ways? I mean, just meeting people on the street or people that you already knew? Like, where are some of the other places that you've been generating client leads?
Some were from people that I've known. I mean, I worked in advertising marketing here for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, I found a little widget that I could work with WordPress that translates everything from English to Spanish.
Yeah.
And so for a while, I hired a young lady that was bilingual who worked through the little neighborhood that's just primarily Spanish speaking, and sold them some websites.
Oh, wow. How did that go for you?
It went great. I mean, even though I don't know that down the road it's that great a plug-in, because the more you get to know people, I don't know that a lot of people that really speak Spanish here read Spanish that well, but it was a tool that they really enjoyed.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, but I like the idea of having just that extra edge, or just looking for something. I talk a lot about stepping stones inside of OMG. I like these little stepping stone moves that you can make to kind of get yourself to the next level. What are some of the now? Do you have any questions for me? Like, since you got me on the line, about like how to expand things, or any tough spots that you're having?
No, I guess the biggest thing I'm trying to do right now is just trying to manage my time. There's so many videos I need to watch. I still need to manage my day and take care of my clients. And
have you been through law of implication yet?
I went through 2 of them. I haven't got the first 2 is all I've seen with David.
Yeah, I would. It may sound weird, but I think, and this really got reinforced to me when I talked to Dave Keys a couple of days ago. I really, like, it can always seem like it's that puts more stuff ahead of things, but I actually think that it's so much. I use this example again and again. It's so much like sharpening the saw before you cut down the tree. It always seems like, it really seems like you should just be sawing down the tree with a dull saw, but you're just so much better off sharpening the saw. So what I would highly recommend, that for me to you, the number one takeaway would be to go through that law of implication training, at least half an hour a day. Take notes on it, because you're gonna just have much more mental acuity. You're gonna make better moves, and it's gonna just leverage your time much better.
Okay, cool, thanks.
All right, great, Glenn. Thanks so much for your valuable time. I really appreciate it. I'll shoot this recording over to you.
Okay.
All right, take care. God bless.
Thanks. Bye.